Hello everyone, and welcome to part 6 of my spooky artist trading card series where I'm making 52 spooky Halloween cards for the season. I only have 4 to go. I am very excited about this, and these are looking so cool. I love them so much. Before I begin on the rest, like and subscribe, and let's see what I can come up with. We're starting off on the first card, same as always, with a sketch. I kind of have some little sketches you can kind of get a little sneak peek of off to the side. They're kind of like pre-sketches, but I'm starting off on this first card and I'm having a bit of a hard time trying to get it to look right. It's a very symmetrical design. I'm trying to do an hourglass, and it was also very hard to try and decorate because an hourglass has to be able to sit on a table both ways. So I tried not to add decoration to the top or bottom because that just doesn't make sense, but I did decorate it with some spider webs, and then of course I added the sand on the inside of the glass. I also decided to add some books underneath, that way it was sitting on something and didn't just kind of, float there. And then after that, it was time to outline the entire design. So I just went over everything I already did once again to finalize everything and make it even neater. I was a little worried going over the design I had created since it took me so many tries to get it right. But hey, you live and learn and you just keep going with it. So I added this little tiny skull on the front. Thought that would be a cute touch, a little spider with its web because, that's kind of creepy. I don't like spiders. That's a big spider. I made its fangs really big. They look like an extra set of legs. They're not. They're supposed to be its teeth. I added some details into the books. And then my husband brought me this autumn spice shake from Chick-fil-A. If you haven't tried one of those, you really should. It tastes like fall in a cup. But anyway, moving on. Now I am on to my favorite part, which is coloring it in. I decided to make the sand in the hourglass red. I just felt like it would be a fun touch, and then I added in some little dots of a darker red just to make it look like there were individual grains of sand. I decided to make the actual hourglass part brown, and then I painted the inside a light blue, or markered it in rather, not painted, but markered it in light blue. That way it would look like it was kind of lighter than the background but still part of the background, if that makes sense. I decided to make these books purple and orange because those are fall colors, spooky colors. And then this one was completed, so now it is time to add in those finishing touches. I decided to name this one Hourglass to stick with the theme, added in some shading, and now it's time for my gel pen details. So I went in with a white gel pen first and added even more highlights on the sand, and then I also added highlights on the hourglass since it is supposed to look like it's made out of glass. It was kind of scary putting the gel pen over top of the art that I already created, but hey, it was worth it, and I think it really sold the idea of the glass. I added in some blue gel pen details in the background just for fun, punched the corners, and here is the first card completed. Now we only have 3 left to go, so let's get started on the next one. Where I live, we get a lot of crows in the fall time that just laugh at you when you're outside, and it's kind of scary. They have that laugh that just makes you feel like they're laughing directly at you. So I decided to be inspired by those birds, and I am drawing a crow here. I kind of just outlined everything that I'd already sketched out. Even though this may look like a harder sketch than the first one, this one was actually easier because it wasn't symmetrical and stuff, but this foot got kind of messed up, but we're just going to color over that later, so don't even pay attention to it. I erased it, and now it's time to go with the marker. I accidentally picked up a yellow and started drawing with that. I meant to pick up blue. I decided that I was going to try and make this card a completely blue card. I've done a couple of completely purple ones, but no completely blue, and I felt like this would be the perfect one to do that with, so that's what we're doing. I picked a whole bunch of different shades of blues, and then I tried to put them all on this page and make it not look like a mess. It needs to look intentional. So then I went in with this kind of paler like blue in the background. And then it was done. I purposely added streaks since it looked streaky to make it look intentionally streaky, even though it wasn't. And then I went in with only a blue gel pen. I just really stuck with that blue theme. I decided to name it Raven, even though it was inspired by crows, because I felt like that was spookier. I punched the corners, and now this one is done too. I think this one's really cool, and I love that it's completely blue. It's my favorite color. And here we go with the next one. For this next card, I decided to do my own take on those little skull flowers. I've even seen these like as decorations in Target, so these are kind of popular and trendy, but I decided to give it a go and kind of put my own spin on it. I tried to make the petals pointy, but I didn't really like that, so I went and switched back to some round flowers. I kind of wanted them to look like daisy skull flowers, if that makes any sense at all. It sounds crazy, but that's what I was going for, so I kind of laid them out overlapping a little bit just to give it a little more dimension, and then it was time to go ahead and outline the design. I think these flowers are a lot of fun and really cute. I decided to go with this kind of cutesy skull design too, not too realistic or anything. I just felt like that would fit best with the little flower design, and that's what I went with. So after I was done sketching everything and then outlining everything, it's now time to go in with the colors, and I just had to make the flowers red. I just felt like that would be a really good spooky color to do. I debated whether or not I should make the flowers all different colors, but I was like, they're supposed to be the same type of flowers, so it probably makes the most sense to make them all the same color. So that's what I did. I went in with a deep red and added in the shading, and then I'm going in now with a lighter red and adding in the rest of the color on the flowers. I decided not to make the stems green because something I really didn't want to do was make this read Christmas. I am terrified ever since that moth that if I put red in there and then I put green, that it's going to look immediately like Christmas, and I do not want that. It's Halloween, okay? We're on Halloween, not Christmas. So that's what I'm trying to do. I used a lot of grays in this one and avoided green at all costs. So then I made the background purple. I decided to name this one Skull Flowers, and then I decided to also add in some gel pen highlights, of course, because that's what makes it amazing and takes it to the next level. And then once I finished to my heart's content putting gel pen everywhere, this one was completed too, so I punched the corners, and here it is. I think it is so cute, and now it is time for the next card. For this design, I decided to do something a little more classic and simple, but also something that just screams fall, and that is candles. Candles are probably like one of my favorite things about fall, so I had to do a card that included them as well. So I decided to do kind of those more classic fire candles, what? But you know, those candles that you might see melting on top of like a mantelpiece in a scary movie or something. So I wanted them to look pretty dramatic. I wanted the wax to be dripping everywhere. I wanted the flames to be burning high, and I just wanted them to kind of, you know, make a scene and have a presence about them. So that's what I'm going with. I thought about making like, you know, a scented candle and like do it kind of cutesy, but I felt like this would give it more spooky vibes and be a little more fun than just, you know, your average candle. Then I scrunched the paper while I was erasing this card, and that was a little bit of a setback, but you know, I just tried to flatten it out, and now it's time to keep on going. I decided to start with the fire first and try and blend that out. It's a little bit darker than I would have liked, but I go in and fix it with a gel pen later. For the candle color, I decided to go with a classic kind of yellow off-white candle that kind of looked like it'd been sitting on someone's mantle for a while. For the background of this card, I also kind of decided to go with a bluish purple because I felt like it would emphasize the flames really well and help them to stand out, and they were really dull, so I hoped it would help. I added in some smoke for the background and also made the bottom banner gray because I felt like that would go with the theme. I darkened up the background a little bit to make the flames seem brighter, and then I also added in some yellow in the background to try and make it look like the flames were giving off some light. And now it's time to go in with my gel pen details, and I think this helped a lot. I put in the word candle to say what it was inspired by, and these little white details right here really make the flames pop, and I'm so glad that I added them in. Then I also added in some yellow around it just to make even more light, and here is the completed Scented Candle card. I think this one looks so cool, but here is the first one again, which was Hourglass themed. Here is the Blue Raven, the Skull Flowers, and of course the candle. Which one of these four was your favorite? I would love to know. I really like the Hourglass and the candle, but I actually really like all of these ones, so I'd be interested to know which one was your favorite. Now we have all 52 Halloween spooky art cards completed, which is amazing. I'm going to have one more video where I show all of them off and reveal all of them and make a spooky spell book to put them in. So stay tuned, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! P.S. Part of me wants to make these all digital as well, so what do you think?